Hi, my name is Chris, and today I want to talk about TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a great extension for Chrome, and what you can do with it has everything to do with YouTube. This is an extension that is especially interesting for you if you are a content creator on YouTube and you want to learn more about what kind of videos to create, how you can basically use the algorithm as well as keyword research with this tool is greatly improved, and overall it just makes managing your YouTube videos that much more efficient. To kind of like show you what I'm doing with it right now, I'm basically using this extension right now to actually update a lot of my videos on my channel to kind of like make sure that in all of the videos that I have on my channel, I also have certain cards in the videos that have my links to my website as well as to my Instagram and such things, even if the videos are super old. Now, this bulk processing, this bulk copying really is something that is super helpful because I would have to go through 280 videos manually and set those markers myself if I couldn't use this tool, or I would just have to basically be fine with not having these links in my videos. And I believe that that really is something that is powerful, and to be able to not necessarily monetize, but make use of the old content, of the old videos and such things. Of course, there's a really good point in doing manual adjustments as well. However, for these kind of like broad strokes, it's really, really powerful. But I want to just get started with just telling you a little bit about TubeBuddy, what it can do for you as a free extension for Chrome, and then also talking about the more advanced features that you can use if you become a customer of TubeBuddy and you go up in the different plans that they offer, which are more and more useful for cases when you have a lot of YouTube videos and you want to just make everything and your whole life as a creator a little bit easier. The first thing that you will need is the extension for Chrome itself, and then you will have to authorize that with your Google account that you also use for YouTube. When you go to the website, and I also will have a link in the description, which is an affiliate link, and that kind of like gives me a little bit of a kickback for everyone who signs up through that, and it just makes these kind of videos possible if you do that. And that would be really awesome, but if you choose not to, you can also just Google TubeBuddy and go there. Now, once you are on that site, you will see instead of this green box, you will see a button that's called Add to Google Chrome. And then once you click that, then the extension will be somewhere up here in the extension area. And it's basically this little TB that you can see. Now, once you have that, you will have to click sign in, and once there, you will be redirected to Google, and then you can make sure that everything is set up there. Once you have all that signed up and set up, you'll probably see something like this, which is the TubeBuddy administration panel. However, I'm not going to start there because I think the first thing that we should take a look at are actually the search integrations and the keyword research, because that's also the part that, for the most part, is available in the free version. So now we have the search page, and I just searched for new ideas, which is kind of like a random keyword just to kind of like get something. What you can see is that usually you would have on the left-hand side just the search results, and then on the right-hand side you would not have anything. And now we have this search explorer, which is powered by TubeBuddy. And what you can see is that there are different indicators up at the top. Then we have related searches as well as most used tags and so on. What this makes really powerful is that you can check certain aspects. For example, you can make sure if the search volume for this specific search keyword is actually a good one and if many people are searching for this. Then the next thing is if there's high competition or not. And of course, new ideas would be a keyword just like that. It would be a really hard keyword to compete on. And then you can also see that the overall weight of this keyword is poor. However, what we can also do is get inspired by these different aspects down here, and we can kind of like make these checkboxes, which would put those keywords into my keyword explorer, which I can then later use as a kind of like a database for ideas. I find it really powerful to have these keyword suggestions just to get another idea of what I can do with the keywords on my own videos. However, it becomes way more interesting if you find a video that you find interesting and you open that video, and let's just pause that real quick. You can later see here that you can have advanced statistics for any given video. So if you find something that is really interesting and you think that that's a really, really good idea, then you can use this to actually analyze the videos of other creators further to get a little bit of more of an information understanding what's going on there, what kind of keywords they're using, and how the video is performing. There we go. We have now more information available, the view count, the total dislikes and likes, as well as the tags that are used and if best practices checkboxes that are there. We can also compare this to a video, so that's something that's interesting, and we can use different tracking methods on this. So this is basically the keyword research that you can do outside of anything else. These are just the tools that are available to you while you're browsing YouTube itself for inspiration and getting ideas, as well as for research for different topics or keyword ideas that you are working with. Now, another thing that also is being added here is this little extra menu at the top. And if you click that, you can see that there's basically a little bit of a section of tools that you might want to use. There are messages from TubeBuddy themselves and also your own milestones. So for example, I just hit the 900 subscribers, and that's what they're kind of like showing me, as well as coming up milestones in terms of how many views and uploads and all those things I will gain in the next certain amount of time. Then we also have this very handy menu up here where we can jump between different sections, which sometimes works wonders and sometimes is not that helpful because, for example, the live streaming at this moment in time is still linking to the old live streaming interface, not the new one. So that's kind of tricky. However, what you also have is the Keyword Explorer SEO tools, as well as the different methods of video topic planner and such things. For example, if we open the Keyword Planner or Keyword Explorer here, and I give new ideas, photography, then you can see that there's the scores being calculated and basically just what already has been done on the search page itself. But now it's more in depth here, and I can make the results and look at those and see how they're doing, what's happening there, how the trends are in that area, and historical data as well as map data. So this is basically what you can do with keyword research on YouTube with TubeBuddy, and it's really helpful. I don't necessarily have TubeBuddy activated all the time because sometimes it's just too much information and I prefer a cleaner layout when I'm using YouTube myself. But I find myself using it more and more often to actually get this data and especially know more about the keywords that I'm working with. However, I don't like to also be too drawn into this topic because sometimes I like to just create what I want to create with the titles that I want to create without having to think about all the keywords all the time. And that's something that I find quite necessary to sometimes just step back from that all researching based and SEO and all that stuff and just make what you want to make, no matter if it's going to be searched for or not. And sometimes it's a good way to have a balance between the two. Now, while these videos that I have set up are still being processed for the bulk process of the end card or the cards within the video, and those things are getting copied over, while that's happening, I just want to show you more of the premium and pro features that are available in the paid plans of TubeBuddy. And some of these features may just be something that you're searching for in one instance because you think that I want to do a certain change right now in all of my videos. And that's probably the reason why I found TubeBuddy to begin with, because it offers the ability to actually search and replace text in descriptions as well as titles throughout all your videos. And I already have over 300 videos on my channel, most of them public, some of them private, and searching or going through every one of those things and changing links, it would be hell. So TubeBuddy actually is very, very helpful with that because you can do bulk changes to the description and to the titles and so on. So let's go in that and show you how that kind of works once you want to do those things. So when you are in your interface and specifically the studio, the new YouTube studio, you can go up here and you see as well, once you have the TubeBuddy extension activated, you have these extra tools that are not necessarily available if you don't have that installed. Now, if you go here, you can see bulk methods, bulk card actions, bulk end screen actions, and other tools. What you can also notice is if you go on here, you have this little button to every single video, and you can see these different methods that you can also use here to do different tasks. However, I want to just focus on the top here for the moment, which is the title and description. And clicking that, you can see find and replace text, insert after text, insert before text, and those kind of things. So if you want, for example, you change your URL, and that was what happened for me. I basically went from spiegel.io to chrisspiegel.com. So this is something that has really been helpful for me to, for example, do this URL change from Spiegel.io to Chris Spiegel. And as you can see in this example down here, they're basically going and searching for Spotify without a space in here, and then they are replacing it with a complete different word in the beginning, a space as well. And then at the end, it actually works out quite nicely. You go from this to this. And if I go here and click continue, I want to, in this case, make sure that it's not in the title. I go continue, and then you can basically also say, where do you want to search? And let's just, for this moment, search the last 50 videos, or make that the last 10. Of course, there's probably not going to be any matches at all because I haven't been using this. And then you can see the text is not found in the following videos. So that's a good thing. But if you go through all of your videos and you have entered the right search term, then you will find that. And then in the next step, you can confirm which videos you actually want to change. And then you can actually make those changes. And that's a really, really useful tool. And I use that again to change my URL. If you have something like that, you might want to use this, and it's really helpful. Another thing that you can do with this as well is if you have a new social media account name and you want to change that in the old videos, those things are really helpful as well. The next thing about the thumbnails is that you can actually update your thumbnails and have an overlay on top of them. And that's not something that I want to do right now. Then we have the bulk card actions and the bulk end screen actions. And what you can do here is that you can actually open this and you say, I want to copy the cards from a certain video, and then on the next step you can again define which videos you want to copy those things to. And this is something that I right now am doing with my videos because I want my videos to include a link to my newsletter as well as to my Instagram account so people can just see those, and I want to include those in the beginning of all the videos that I have published. And that's something that is really, really helpful. But it's not only helpful for that, but it's also for whenever you upload a new video, you can actually use a template to be able to set those things again. And that's really a powerful tool to be able to not have to do all of those things every single time. Kind of depends on how often you upload. For myself right now, with an upload schedule of 3 videos per week, that is something that is quite nicely appreciated. But you can not only copy them from one video to another, you can actually also go in and say update. In this case, for example, you can say you want to update the link cards where the URL is again, for example, your old URL, and then set the URL to something new or set the title and those things. It's really, really powerful, again, to be able to have your links change whenever you have a new domain or if you have a new Instagram handle, those kind of things. You can all do that here. And the same thing works with the end screen. You can do the same thing. You can copy your end screen from a video to another video, or you can also change the link elements, again, the URLs that you used in the past, and so on. The last list of tools here is also quite interesting. For example, you can check your demonetization and check if you're missing out on any revenue. Right now, for me, that's not really interesting because my channel is not monetized yet. You can back up all the descriptions and the titles and categories date published of your videos, which I think is also quite nice and really cool. And then you can also use this to have a better view of your schedule if you are scheduling multiple videos in advance. Now this kind of concludes the video overview, but if you also go into one specific video, then you will have even more tools available. And in this case, I have one of my latest videos open, and as you can see, there are a couple of buttons based on TubeBuddy. There's one right there. There's also a section down here. You have an extra create thumbnail function down here, and with the tag tools, there's also an extra box. Now going from the top here, the one on the left over here has a lot of different templates and tools available for us. For example, as mentioned before, I can apply a template for cards, and I can also apply a template for the end screen, which is quite powerful. You can syndicate your content to Facebook, and this will actually automatically publish the video on Facebook as well. And then you can use these different methods and tools here to be able to do a little bit of SEO research, as well as A/B testing, which title performs better, and then the tool actually changes the title for you and then sees which one gets more views in a shorter period of time or something like that. And you can do things like schedule the publish, sunset the video, which means that the video would automatically be unpublished at a certain time, and also the scheduled video updates, which would mean, for example, you want the title to be overwritten or add after, add before, and you can do that automatically at certain times, which can be really powerful, again, for something that, for example, you want the title to be something the first 2 days, and then it should change after that. Then you also have the function that you can, for example, pick a winner if you do a draw in the comment section, and you can export all your comments as well. Then there's also this other quick links tab up here where you can see different things about this video. Not necessarily something I use very often, I just navigate myself. And then we also have info about this video, the direct video link, the playlist link, and so on and so forth. Now going from there more down the screen, we have this best practices area. Then you can see that TubeBuddy actually makes certain recommendations based on what they know about YouTube and what you may want to be doing. You can also change this recommendations best practice list yourself by clicking the little gear icon, and there you can choose which best practices you actually want to include there and which you don't really care about. And then you can see, for example, pinning a comment might be there, share it on Twitter, get a like on Facebook, also sharing it or syndicating it, and having a title that's between 20 and 70 characters. Not sure which is mine. Mine is apparently 1 character too long, but I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. Going further down, we have the section that's called Create a Thumbnail, where if you click this, you can actually use either a still frame, the solid color, or an image or an existing thumbnail. And for this one, for example, I could, if I wanted to, use this one, continue, and then create my own thumbnail by putting certain text elements and so on over it and create a thumbnail myself. Now, I don't want to do this because I generally use my own thumbnails and create them with Photoshop, but if you want to just up your game from standard thumbnails selected by the 3 ones that YouTube suggests to something more custom, then you can make use of that quite nicely. The next thing down here, and also the last thing on this page specifically, is that you can actually use a nice method to have more keywords, and that's this suggested section here. Once you click that, you actually will get suggestions based on the keywords that you already have. For example, in this case, I might want to add the RF24 to 105, as well as this, and so on. Now, if you can look here, you will see views received from the search term in YouTube. And I might want to just add this and that. Canon EOS R, just EOS R, this one. Why not this one and this one? And once I've done that, tags inserted, I can close it, and from there I see that I have actually now too much information in here, and I might want to just take out a couple of the keywords that I usually use, and I have to find some more. And now we're back to the limit that is suggested. And you can see you can do all kinds of things here. The suggested tab is the one that I think is the most useful. You can also copy them and those kind of things. And I think that overall, this is one of the most powerful tools in this whole set. Save those changes, and with that we are basically done with this specific section. There's a little thing on the right here which is just a quick switch between the latest videos. Also nice if you are editing those latest 10 videos or something like that, so that's something as well. Another helpful tool for this is when you are moderating your comments, and you can see here you have a little bit more information once you have TubeBuddy installed. For example, it shows the subscriber count of the user and their main link on the profile as well. And what you can also do is that you can filter your comments. However, that is something that the new YouTube Studio actually does for you as well. However, if you want to, you can have better filters here and more different things filtered. Not necessarily something that I use that often. However, what I do think is quite nice is that you can have something that is called a canned response. So if you get the same question over and over again, you can basically prepare an answer. Now, one way to do this is to use a text expansion tool like Alfred, for example, that I like to use as well, and there are videos on my channel about this specifically. But here you can actually click this little TubeBuddy icon, and then you can see that there are canned responses available. And one that I just prepared for this is the thank you, and then you can see that automatically it actually does this text that says, "Thank you for this comment, Chris. This made my day." So it actually includes the name of the person that wrote the comment, which I find quite cool and really helpful if you want to use that in some way. Another section where you have functionality from TubeBuddy is if you edit playlists, and there you have the same kind of bulk edit things available. For example, you can go here and then you say, if you actually make a checkbox here for these two, for example, you can say you can change the ordering, the remove videos. You can also change the privacy settings of these two playlists at the same time. I personally find this quite helpful specifically for the video order, because I like my video orders to be based on the date added usually, so that they are in order based on when I uploaded. No, the publish date, that's the one that I like to use. So that's something that is quite nice. You don't have to do every single playlist by itself. And then there's also this button called Edit Videos. And if you click that, it redirects you to a video editor that actually features a little change button at the top right here, where you can switch between the videos that are specifically in that playlist. However, you are back on the old video editor, and I assume that this will be changing in the future and it goes to migrate over to the YouTube Studio. But right now it's still based on the old one. Now let's go back to a little bit more of the statistical side, and that is when you go to your own channel or when you go to someone else's channel. We already talked about the different details or information pieces you can get when you do keyword research or you open a specific video on YouTube. Now we also can look at the channel itself. For this one, for example, if you look at your own channel, this is what you see, and it's not quite different from any other channel that you can open up as well. But basically you can see a live stats counter, and then you can also see the statistics from how many subscribers are gained or lost on any given day. And you can actually do this for videos last 30 days, views last 30 days. In this case, for example, you can see that I uploaded videos on these days. And then you can see the views in the last 30 days, and that's the view count right there. And you can also see the channel tags that are set up, as well as the channel ID, which sometimes is useful if you want to use that. If you go to someone else's channel, you pretty much get the same information. You can see that you can get the last 30 days of views, you can get the last 30 days of subscriber counts. However, this is something that is a little tricky because it now is based on the shortened subscriber count that YouTube publishes. So there's not that much information in this anymore. Lastly, let's go into the TubeBuddy web interface that they have on their website, because some features they actually provide there that are not available on YouTube itself. If you go into your dashboard on TubeBuddy, this is the first screen that you will see there, and you can see that there are different tools available right here, and you can also manage multiple channels here as well, and you can add different channels to this. Some things that are really interesting here are the health reports, the search rank tracking, as well as the promo materials. First off, let's look into the health report, and with this, basically you get a little bit more information that you may not be able to find in the audiences or the analytics of YouTube itself. You can see how many public uploads you have, subscribers, the total view count, and also the YouTube searches that are reason for most of your results in video views. Generally, I think that most of this information you can actually get from looking at your analytics in YouTube Studio, but sometimes it's interesting to just have a different set of stats and graphs. And then we have the keywords to track or the ranking reports. And those are quite interesting because here I can go in and say new ideas photography. save this, and what you can see is if I go in here, it actually redirects me to this channel keyword. And what it also does is a ranking report. And with that, it basically goes in and collects data about this more in depth and also tracks it. And then you can schedule it to be sent to you in a certain amount of. So this is interesting for the case where you, for example, want to track how your ranking is in certain keywords. If you are ranking in those keywords that you want to be ranking in, and if you're climbing in those statistics. So that's the reason why this can be really helpful. This is also interesting if you are a brand manager and you also want to know how people are talking about you, so you might track certain keyword searches for that purpose. And lastly, we have the page for promotion materials, and right now they still have this functionality if you are already a user of this. However, there seem to be a couple of changes coming up with the Google shortening service, so I'm not entirely sure how they're going to handle this. But what they usually had here, or what these functions are, is that if you send this link to someone, it's going to be the most recent upload or the most popular upload, your channel page link, and so on and so forth. And here down there, we have the details of your banner image as well as the channel thumbnail, your embed code, and some similar things. This at the top here was really, really powerful because you could just have something on your own website that has the link to the most recent upload all the time. And I'm not sure, again, how they're going to deal with this once the shortening from Google is discontinued, how they're going to make another solution for this or something like that. So not sure how that's going to be, but it was quite powerful in the last few years. So that is my overview of TubeBuddy. I think it's really powerful if you have tens of videos that you are managing and you want to do these kind of apply templates, you want to have that kind of help with keyword research and so on. Overall, it's something that might not be necessary, but it is a really nice tool to have when you are dealing with these masses of videos at some point. For me, definitely it is something that is really, really helpful in my everyday use of YouTube with the keyword research, the uploading, the use of templates, and with the ability to do the replacing of text and old links as well. Now there's a link in the description below where you can install the Chrome extension of TubeBuddy completely for free yourself. And if you choose to, you can upgrade later to the different tiers and have more functionality overall. The link is an affiliate link, and that makes these kind of videos possible over the long run. If you don't want to use that link, you can Google TubeBuddy yourself and give a like to the video if it was helpful for you. That would really help out as well. Overall, I hope this was helpful for you and it gave you a little bit of an insight as to what you can do with this tool and how you can maybe change your way of doing keyword research and other information gathering or activities on your videos and making adjustments and so on. I'm really happy that I found this tool when I needed it for the URL change, and over the last few months it has been a great tool in my tool belt of working with YouTube in a more efficient way. With that said, check it out. And I hope you have an amazing day and make it your life. Ciao, ciao.